Okay, well, welcome to my channel, Hank, Gospel on the Greens. That's what I do. I'm glad that you came here and I can interview and so forth. I've got some questions for you. I actually did a little research about you, so I understand a little bit of what's going on. Your name, is it pronounced Bocchini?
Yes.
Bocchini, okay. So Hank Bocchini here today, and Hank owns Hank Swank's golf course. It's a little golf course, 9-hole golf course, plus you have a driving range here and so forth. So my first question for you is this. What inspired you and your family to keep Hank Swank's going and keeping it strong for, has it been 75 years?
Yes.
75 years.
First of all, there must be some mistake. I thought this was an Amway convention. I just came in for a box of soap.
Well, it is.
And now you're asking me all these questions.
Well, we do have some soap for you afterwards. That's a prize. That's what we give away.
Okay. Anyway, you said, do I own it? It owns me a lot more than I own it. Yeah. It owns my wife, it owns my daughter and my son and my granddaughter and my grandson, my 4 great-grandboys. We're all owned by this place. But we love it. That's the side kick of it.
So outstanding. So how did it get its start? I understand this is not the original location. Is that correct?
Actually, before 1950, my dad was an amateur golfer, and he owned a grocery store, and he had a friend by the name of Ralph Lamelli, who was an assistant golf pro at Fort Washington Country Club. And he would play the West Coast tour with the big pros at different locations, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Arizona, places like that they could drive to and participate in the pro tournaments and pro-ams. And my dad was his amateur partner and went with him to a number of these tournaments. And they had a great time. And one day, Ralph Labelli said to my father, you have this property here. Why don't you build a driving range and I'll come here and teach and everything. We'll make a big success out of it. Well, lo and behold, my dad took the idea and he did it. And so in 1950, they opened up with just a driving range, and they had a nice little pro shop, and they had a snack bar in there. I remember when I was a kid, they cooked delicious hamburgers there, french fries and that. I got to tell you, my first idea of the place, though, back then, I was all excited. My mother drove up, parked behind the place. It was our grand opening. I don't know, I was 4 or 5 years old. And I jumped out of the car and I ran around the corner, and where they had some fresh grass, they had a rope there. And the first thing I did is I almost wrung my neck through that rope and flipped and knocked me on the ground.
Oh my.
And there I was, crying and all this stuff, and all these people were standing around watching me, and I was so embarrassed, but I got over it. Turned into be a good place.
Oh.
So anyway, that's where we got our start. And
where was that located?
That was on Shields and Maple, right on the corner. And a fellow by the name of Clifford Kelly, he was a black man who, if you had a plan and you wanted to do something on your property with the city or the county, he would take your idea and put it on paper and take it to the city or the county and get the zoning for you, get all the particulars. And so I remember him coming to my dad's house, and he rolled out this big load of papers, and it showed this clubhouse and a driving range with some greens out there, and this great big sign, bigger than the whole drawing itself, and it said, Hank's Swank Driving Range, like Swanky Place. And that's
how
where the name came from.
Wow.
And today you could go to New York City and ask someone, do you know Hank Bocchini? They would say no. Then you say, well, do you know Hank Swank's? They would say, well, isn't that driving range out in California? And I mean, that's how it is.
Wow.
That man had a brother that was a police officer, a decorated police officer in Fresno. And he in fact, our second location, which was on Chestnut north of Shields, he drew the plans for me. He went to the city for me.
Wow.
So that was we opened up in May of 71 there. And now, only because my mom and dad wanted to sell the land and retire and travel, and they did. And they closed on a Saturday, and my wife and I opened up on a Sunday, and We were there for 17 years.
So at the other second piece of property?
At the second place, right.
Okay, very good. That second place was located?
On Chestnut, just north of Shields,
okay.
inside the airport.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. So not too far from like where Airways is right now.
Oh yeah, you could see they were across the airport from us.
Yeah.
Palm Lakes
Wow.
was across the other street from us.
Mm. And so what year did you open up this particular?
In July of 1984, we opened up Hank Swank's on Olive and Fowler Avenue, a par 3 course and a lighted driving range. In fact, the first 3 years we didn't have lights because we were running both places. And after 3 more years, which was like our 17th year, the city said, okay, we're going to use the property for airport use, and so that meant my lease was up. And so we moved everything from there over to here, as far as the lights were concerned. And then, you know, my family was all here now instead of 2 places. And it just worked out better. It was a better operation all the way around.
Well, good. And those are some of the questions you've already answered for me here.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. You got it.
Yep, there.
And yeah, I had a question about how you got the name and so forth, so I understand that now. So you're in 1984. You talked about in 1984. You started this particular course right here, and what I researched is that in 1984 there was a big rainstorms that helped possibly develop your greens, and you said it was kind of a miracle from God.
Yes, it
Is that what you said?
It was.
Tell me about that.
Okay, we started construction in May of '82, and we had big caterpillars and things come in and move a lot of dirt around, just bulk dirt. They'd put a pile over here and a pile over there, and one would be a tee, one would be a green, like that, and then it was up to me to shape those into tees and greens after that. So the big equipment was here was for 3 or 4 weeks doing what they did, then it was my turn. Okay, well, I spent the rest of that summer and fall shaping these greens how I thought I wanted them to be. And then that year, it was actually the winter of '82, '83, Fresno got about 35 inches of rain.
Holy smokes.
And I mean, we were just a mud hole out here. If a truck did come in, it couldn't get out. You know, they were stuck, and maybe another truck would have to come and pull them out. They would dump their load of sand there, which didn't do anybody any good. And what had happened is pipes that we had originally 1.5 feet underground, some of them were now 1 foot out of the ground because the tall greens were just washed away. But in doing that, the greens were shaped in a way that I just never thought of. I could never have done on my own. They were shaped, and only after the rain, after we could go in and start working again, I realized the golf course is made. The greens are made. All I had to do was fine tune it, and you could see that a mound was over here, and then a low spot, and a mound over here. And all I did was smooth it out and refix the sprinkler system, redig some of the trenches and lower everything, and God did it, not me.
So the rain actually put all the undulations in, and
the rain saved me, actually, because if this would have been a maintenance nightmare had it been the way that I had it first. And of course, I had a small tractor. I took on a lot. I couldn't do all of the dirt work with that little tractor, but I thought it was adequate enough and it would be fine, but it wouldn't have. I knew that afterwards that it wouldn't have been fine. And it did, it worked out.
that is so amazing. That is amazing. So the next question I have for you is this little course, and actually the other locations too, how many golfers that you met or practice at your facilities went on to play major college golf, or just college golf, or even professional golf that you know of?
Well, a lot of them. I mean, you know, like right now, DeChambeau.
Right.
Jerry Hurd used to play at our facilities and practice it from my dad's place to our places like that. He'd been a winner on the Pro Tour. Mike Springer comes to mind.
Springer, yeah.
And, you know, several other young men out there that maybe didn't go to the top on the PGA Tour, but they've done well. A lot of them are club pros, country club pros, and did very well with golf in their life. It's a wonderful sport and remains to be a wonderful sport.
Yeah, it is a great sport. I mean, I've learned so much myself just about life playing this game and playing with individuals, about etiquette and treating others right and being positive. It's just a great sport. I also want to ask you about your relationship with Jesus. Now, you talked about, God. It was a miracle that God created this golf course and so
Absolutely,
forth.
yeah.
So, your relationship. Do you have a testimony about Jesus and how you? I don't know anything about that. About your Christianity. Do you have a relationship?
Yes, I mean, I read the Bible almost on a regular basis.
Good.
And I read it over and over because it's a new book every time you read it. And it's true. It's absolutely true. There's really nothing like it if you delve into it, and it'll surprise you. And it pertains to today. It was, what, 2,000 years ago or so?
Yes.
And so when you read the Bible, sometimes when they talk about life so many millions of years ago, it's hard to fathom that.
Yeah.
So you have to delve into the Bible and understand why some of the things like the stars, stargazing and stuff like that are not there for us to understand. But if you read it and you read it and you read it again, the understanding will come to you and tell you, oh, you shouldn't do that. There's going to be consequences down the road, or, thank you for doing that. He will thank you for doing the right thing.
So you have a personal relationship with Jesus. You've asked him into your heart. And so you have the hope that someday you'll be in heaven with God.
Yes, I'm praying for the 1,000-year reign myself.
Yes.
People that are questionable regarding, if they're questionable in God's eyes, they may be involved in this 1,000-year reign that he talks about that
Yes.
gives us a second chance to prove ourselves.
That's right.
And hopefully that's where I'll
That's
fall.
the millennial period, they call it, which is 1,000 years. So
Yes.
that's great. Super stuff. Well, Hank, thanks for being on my channel. I appreciate that. And I know that your life has touched the lives of lots of people over the years. And I appreciate that. And I'm sure there are lots of people out there who appreciate it too. And especially the youth. I mean, there's so many youth out here today. I mean, I'm just going out myself. I'm looking around. There's a lot of kids out here. So you've touched the lives of a lot of kids. And so, again, I appreciate that. God appreciates that too, that you've been such a positive had such a positive attitude towards these individuals out here and people in general. So, thank you again for being on my channel.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
I might say that this is where they start. This is where young people start. This is where new golfers start, and they get to practice. They get to play a small golf course that they can handle, no matter what their ability is, and they can learn. And they move on, they move up, and they become family golfers, and they play together forever. It's a great sport, and I tell kids, first of all, you have to have be a straight A student. You can't have any B's. You got to have straight A's.
Good.
And then you got to be a good golfer. And when you're on the golf teams and you're down like the number one man, number two, number three, all the colleges are already tracking you. They know what you're doing, what your grades are. And when you graduate, the letters come to you.
Mm-hmm.
They come after you. You don't have to write a letter to a different college hoping that you're getting accepted, because you're a double threat. You're golf and grades. If you just have the grades, it's not so much, because thousands of kids have the grades.
Right.
But if you're a scratch golfer too, and it's fun becoming a scratch golfer, it's not so much work anymore. And they'll come to you and they'll give you a full ride and take all the financial responsibility away from your family. And But you have to learn that now. You can't wait till you're 20.
No.
You got to do it when you're 10.
Right.
Start when you're 10. Start reading and studying. And when you get out of school, it's sunlight. That's when you want to hit balls and practice your golf. And when it gets dark, you go inside and study. Don't watch TV. Put your dinner right beside you while you're reading the book you become a straight A student.
Yeah. And you provide the facility here for kids that can do that type of thing, that can go out and practice their game and learn the game here and so forth. So that's just a tremendous help for a lot of kids and youth.
We love it. We see more and more
Yeah.
families and women and
Yeah.
men and women, and it's just wonderful.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. They're kissing when they walk up here, and they're kissing when they leave. So it must have been a good practice.
A good experience, that's for sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, outstanding again. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
All right.
Okay.
I'd like to also go through your facility real quick with you. Can we go through the bins to your and look at some of the clubs that you've collected over the years, because you've collected a lot of clubs.
Oh yeah, a lot of clubs. Not all of those are here. I mean, I have.
You have some at home, I understand.
Oh,
too.
I have. That's all that. I have a lot of containers full of collectible golf clubs and
At home.
wooden shafted clubs.
Oh,
and
my
stuff.
goodness
Maybe
gracious.
that's another podcast that we'll have.
We can do another one like that. So